United Kingdom, the country used to be the great colonial power between 17th to 28th century. They used to rule half of the world with the help of their tyrannical ruling system. They looted the world indiscriminately. They ravaged the geographical boundaries of great countries. They created new conflict to get the profit out of it. They also called themselves the crown of the world. But in today's new world order, they now lost their economical crown of being the fifth largest economy of the world to India. India, a country used to rule by Britons, a country whose population was used to consider inferior because of the color of their skin. Now we, those brown Indians, are now giving Britons the tough time in today's environment, today's economical environment. In fact, India became the fastest growing economy of the world with 13.5% growth rate. According to the figures from the International Monetary Fund, India passed the UK's $3.2 trillion economy and became the fifth largest economy of the world with $3.5 trillion. Now the question is how India became the fifth largest economy of the world when the growth of the all economies are sliding constantly. Look at the economical growth of UK. It is minus 0.2%. Look at the USA. Its economy is contracting at a rate of 0.6%. Look at the economy of China. Once used to be the growth engine of the world economy, is now losing the steam and their economical growth is turning minus 2.6%. Almost all the economies are losing their battle because of aftershock of COVID-19 pandemic and the supply chain collapse because of the Russia's special military operation against Ukraine. Even Russia itself feeling the result of their own act against Ukraine because after the war the Western nations put the ban against Russian businesses. Their economy is contracting at a rate of 0.8%. India is also witnessing economical earthquake in her neighboring countries. The economy of Sri Lanka collapsed totally. The Bangladesh economy is lingering between surviving and collapsing. They ask $4 billion loan from IMF. Look at the Nepal's economy. The Nepal's foreign exchange reserve is declining quickly. And the Pakistan, a Western stooge, is now begging for the money from the Arab countries and IMF. They are genuflecting in front of IMF for only $1 billion loan. They are selling their national asset at a nominal rate. But in this gloomy economical condition, India is sparkling like a bright star in an ultraviolet sky. Now the question is how India is maintaining the growth rate of such high. One of the main reasons is Indian government's economical restructuring after 2014 and Indian government's welfare plan during and after the COVID pandemic. The Indian economy has fully recovered to the pre-pandemic real GDP level of 2019-2020 period. Apart from these reasons, Indian government initiatives are helping the Indian economy to float. It is a well-known phenomenon to us that some of the government initiatives have been criticized by the left-leaning people. They tried their best to malign the India's image by publishing their concocted story through the left-leaning media houses like New York Times and the Washington Post. They even tried to manufacture the data regarding the COVID-19 death. Anyway, let's ignore these people for this very moment. Let's get back to the government initiatives. These government initiatives are very important from UPSC exam point of view. Since 2014, the Indian government has introduced many initiatives to strengthen the nation's economy. The government has been effective in developing the policies and the programs that are not only beneficial for citizens to improve their financial stability, but also for the overall growth of the economy. Many of the government flagship programs including Make in India, Startup India, Digital India, the Smart City Mission, and the Atal Mission and the rejuvenations and the urban transformations are aimed at creating immense opportunities in India. But some recent initiatives taken by the government really boost the Indian economy. In July 2022, the signing of the Memorandum of Understanding between India and Maldives will provide a platform to tap the benefits of IT for the code digitization, and it can be a potential growth area for IT companies and startups in both the countries. The next initiative is very important for India's substantial biodiversity. India signed a MOU with Namibia for establishing the cheetah habitat in the historical forest range in India. The next initiative gave boost to the Indian rupee because the Reserve Bank of India approved the international trade settlement with emphasis on the export from India and to support the increasing interest of global trading community. The Indian government is also boosting the domestic defense market by not allowing the defense import from the other countries. India is now trying to establish itself as a global defense exporter from the global defense importer. The government is also investing huge amount of money in order to establish the world-class infrastructure. Recently in the UP Investor Summit, the Prime Minister Narendra Modi laid the foundation stone of 1,406 projects worth more than 80,000 crore. India signed free trade agreement with 13 different countries including United Arab Emirates and Australia. We are also looking forward to sign the free trade agreement with United Kingdom, European Union and Canada. If India be able to do that, then it will be the great achievement for the Indian economy. Also in this year's Union Budget, the Finance Ministry gave priorities to the Prime Minister Gati Shakti Mission, inclusive development, productivity enhancement, and investment and financing of investments. Because of these initiatives, the effective capital expenditure is expected to increase by 27%. It will boost the Indian economy by pumping 10.68 lakh crore into the economical circle. This 10.68 lakh crore will be the 4.1% of total gross domestic product. So you can understand that how many jobs it will going to create. Apart from these initiatives, the government of India trying to draw the foreign direct investment in the different sectors by giving the incentive under the production links incentive schemes. The government has announced PLI schemes for domestic solar cell and modular manufacturing, bulk drug manufacturing, semiconductor industry and the industry for the making 5G equipments. As the world is moving towards electric vehicle manufacturing, because of that, the government gave 45,000 crore under PLI scheme to attract domestic and foreign investment under it. India's investment in space is also increasing. India is vying for Gaganyaan, Chandrayaan-3 and Aditya L1 mission. A very important fact for you to know that there are no space mission for the developed country like United Kingdom. They once make the fun of our space mission, but they do not have their own. Anyway, there is another data that is indicating that India's economy is growing swiftly, and that data is India's export data. India's export for 2021 was $660.50 billion, a 32.34% increase from 2020. And it is increasing gradually, and it is now standing at $676.50 billion. There is another data showing that India's purchasing power in this gloomy time, and that data is goods and the service tax revenue collection, which stood at 1.44 trillion rupees, equivalent to $18.1 billion. India's consumer price inflation is also decreasing. India's $3.5 trillion economy is standing on the solid ground with more than 100 unicorns valued more than $332.7 billion. India is the third largest unicorn hub of the world after US and Israel. India is slowly moving away from the conventional energy sources like coal, petroleum, diesel. The Indian government is promoting the generation of energy through the renewable energy sources. The country is planning to achieve 40% of its energy from non-fossil fuel sources by 2030. So these are the government initiatives. Those are boosting our economical growth at a tremendous rate. Recently, RBI released economical data regarding this quarter. In this quarter, some of the indicators are astoundingly impressive. Like India's economical growth, which is 13.5%, the fastest in the last 4 quarters. Our economy is growing because of our agriculture, and the service sector is growing exponentially. By the way, this growth number is lesser than what the RBI projected. The RBI projected 16.2% growth. The growth have been hampered because of constantly increasing price of several goods like oil and gas. Apart from our GDP growth, our GVA growth is also touching its zenith. The GVA means gross value added, which increased by 12.7%. The GVA growth of the farm sector is 4.5% in comparison to the 2.2% last year. There are some sectors, those are also contracted, like the manufacturing sector, mining sector, construction sectors. But the electricity, gas, water supply and the utility sectors grew by 14.7% in the quarter compared to the 13.8% a year ago. The Indian foreign direct investment is standing at an astounding figure, which is around $100 billion. But there are so many challenges because of the complex geopolitical concern. One is Ukraine and another one is US Federal Reserve, which is increasing the interest rate in every quarter. Because of that, the circulation of dollar is reducing, the value of the dollar is increasing, and the export is getting costlier every day. Not only these challenges, the crude oil prices are also increasing every day. The commodities are getting costlier and the economical activity is reducing every day. But we Indians have isolated ourselves from these variables by taking some calculative steps. The main reason behind our economical marvel is government desire to help the Indian people and the government intention to do the positive things and do the positive work. You know, we Indians do not lecture the world in the name of democracy, equality and sovereignty, which the British media house like BBC do. The BBC lectured us on COVID, they lectured us on Kashmir by taking the side of Pakistan, they lectured us on Ukraine, they lectured us on everything. But what we Indians do? We ignored them completely and we did our work graciously. That is why India today is the 5th largest economy and the UK is the 6th largest economy. According to the SBI data, India would surpass Germany in 2027 and the most likely Japan by 2029. But we Indians have to keep one thing in the mind, that is our population. And because of that, our per capita income is only $2,500 in comparison of United Kingdom $47,000. Anyway, no one can stop India's growth, whoever is the conspirator.